Hey there, how's it going? Mike Auton here. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine called Manuel Mendez. He's a young entrepreneur, 25 I think, is that right, Manuel?
Yeah, 25.
25, and he's working with one of Europe's leading investors. He's on Shark Tank Portugal. His name is Tim Vieira. So Manuel has been working with him for a period of time now. We're going to find out a little bit more about that. I'm going to be talking with him about the things he's been doing with Tim, about how he got to be where he is right now, and anything and everything connected to being a young entrepreneur, and how that can help you, hopefully give you some ideas or some inspiration to find your way, your path to your success, your online success. So, hi Manuel.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Thanks for doing this, man. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for inviting me.
Ah, man, it's my pleasure. We're neighbours pretty much, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
So that does help. We're down the road from each other in Portugal here, just outside the Lisbon area of Portugal, a place called Cascais. And this is where you've been working with Tim now for quite a while. How long have you been working with Tim?
Around a year and 6 months. Maybe. Okay,
yeah. So a year and a half.
Close to 2 years, year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And what is it that, well, firstly, tell me how you actually, because Tim's a really well-known person, at least here in Portugal, and I think wider afield as well. He's a South African native and moved to Portugal, I think, he's got Portuguese family, right? A lot of years ago,
yeah, he's got Portuguese family,
That's
but
right.
He pretty much settled here after coming from South Africa and
There
building a lot of businesses there.
There we go. And he's on Shark Tank Portugal?
He was on the first season.
First season,
yeah.
First season. And I imagine he invested in lots of businesses.
He was the #1 investor in terms of amount invested. Yes, no one else invested as much as him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how is it that your paths crossed? How did you get to know Tim?
So actually, I knew Tim from Shark Tank before.
Oh yeah?
But when
you knew him from watching the program?
Yeah, from watching Shark Tank.
Okay.
But when you see things on TV, you never think oh, I'm going to meet that person or something else.
Okay, sure.
But from a very start of my career, I knew that the quickest way to success is really talking to people who are there. Right?
Sure.
They know the path. There's no use in you committing the same mistakes that they did. They can just tell you, don't go there, right?
Sure. So you like to learn from experienced people's mistakes,
definitely,
right?
definitely.
Cool.
And the way I was doing this at the time was I was just going up to people and say, I want to have lunch with you.
Nice.
Which is pretty much what happened with Tim. I went to a conference. I can't remember the name of the conference, but it was about digital marketing.
Here in Portugal?
Here in Portugal, in Leiria.
Okay.
And Tim was talking there, and I managed to grab him off the audience and said, you don't know me, but I want to have lunch with you just to talk.
And he was up with, he was cool with that?
He's that type of guy. He's very, very open to helping people. In fact, the more I've worked with him, the more respect I have for the man, because he's that type of guy. He's a really good guy. So he said, and he said, well, write an email to my assistant and she's going to take care of it.
Okay.
And we actually were meant to have lunch in around, I think, September, and it got delayed because he's a busy guy.
Of course.
But eventually when we did have lunch, I told him about my path, what I did, etc. And he was interested, and he eventually introduced me to some of his business partners, and I ended up working a bit on some of his brands. So
different projects that he had running already?
Yeah.
And from that, how did you transition from helping him on his existing projects to creating a new company that you guys are partnered on,
Yeah,
right?
we're partners on my current company.
So how did that transition take place?
Well, from what I did, right, with his partners, he placed a lot of trust in me, a lot of trust in my work, and eventually asked, do you want to build a company around this, around what you do? And I've always wanted to build my own company, because I've been following great entrepreneurs. Nowadays, a lot of people follow Gary Vaynerchuk, but one of my favorite books is The Millionaire Fastlane by M.G. DeMarco. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Also great book. On my top 3. So I knew that I needed to do that.
Nice.
But as a young kid, because I still am a kid, right? It's hard to take that first step.
Of course.
And when you have someone of this caliber saying, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. You're like,
it gives you that confidence, right? Yeah. You think, well, he's done it before.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no reason this can go wrong, which is safety. So I just said, yeah, let's do it. And it all started there. And we've been working for 1.5 years now, yeah.
Am I right in saying that the direction of the company has changed in that 1.5 years? Like you had an initial idea of how it was going to work, and that has actually evolved over time?
Definitely.
So what was the original plan?
So the original plan was really to scale startups, promising startups, through digital marketing.
Like how?
So my experience with digital marketing revolves around heavily in marketing automation, Facebook ads, and e-commerce.
Okay.
So it's taking what we know that will generate results for other companies in my past and applying that to multiple companies. And then becoming a partner in their success.
Yeah.
And this would be done by either equity or a revenue share, something like that.
So what went wrong? Why did that end up being a bad idea, or not a viable idea at that time?
Yeah, not the best idea. You could say bad. I actually think, looking back, it's probably like a bad idea. Because startups don't have the resources or the knowledge.
Exactly, yeah.
And effectively, or the money to pay, unless it's like VC funded. But if it is VC funded, they're not hiring an agency. They're hiring
Explain VC.
VC funded companies are startups, early stage startups that have venture capital money, which it pretty much means big investors invested in that company because they believe in the company and they want to see it grow.
So it's a startup, but it's a startup with money.
Yeah, it's a startup with an S, with a capital S, you know?
Yeah. So, but what was the problem? What was the flaw in the plan? That basically most of these companies didn't have the money and didn't have the expertise, didn't have the knowledge?
Yeah. When you're really good at marketing, right, you can easily get a consultant job at very good prices, right? People will pay very highly for your expertise.
Sure.
Startups don't have that money to pay.
Yeah.
So you're either going to collect the money long term, or
if the startup works, and 90% fail, right?
95%. Yeah, 95%. 95% startups fail in the first 5 years. If that statistic wasn't enough to make me back down from that idea, well, the experience was.
So the experience was that most of them fail.
Most of them
fail. You lived the theory and reality, yeah?
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to get to that realization? Are we talking months or a year or?
Honestly, too long. Probably like 10 months.
10 months.
So the initial stage of the company was really battling through what we thought, no, we can do this, just we need this X approach or Y approach. So
you're always trying to tweak it?
Yeah.
But it was actually fundamentally flawed?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact,
see, I'm very familiar with this, by the way. I mean, as entrepreneurs, I think we do this all the time. It's like entrepreneurs are always chasing the next idea, and we get, at least I'm speaking for myself, I think, I think many entrepreneurs, we get engrossed in the idea so much that we want it so much to work that we forget sometimes just to be practical. Yeah. And to actually like take us. I had this exact conversation yesterday where sometimes you need someone to say, hang on, why are you doing what you're doing? How does this make sense? And to kind of like tear the idea apart. Yeah. But you guys didn't have that at the start, right?
I guess not.
You rolled with it.
Yeah, we roll with it, and as a young entrepreneur, it's very easy to just go with the flow.
Yeah,
and you should.
Yeah,
because that means you're taking risks.
Yeah.
If you don't go with the flow, then you're like, well, I'm only going to take this step when I know exactly for sure that this is the right thing. Yeah, and you're never going to have that.
I get it. Yeah, the circumstance is never perfect, right?
Yeah,
you've just got to go for stuff.
Yeah. The time is now thing.
I get
it's very real.
I'm on board. So listen, 10 months later, you realized this isn't working. Did you just completely scrap it and start again?
No, so 10 months later, what eventually happened was we started changing our target. So now we're targeting medium to larger companies where
with
money.
That makes sense.
But these companies, if you grow 20% on a startup, that's amazing, right? But if you grow 1% or 2% in a very big company, that's even better. That's even better because they already make millions. If you do 2% on 10 million,
they're happy with you.
Yeah, they're very happy.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot more sense because a lot of these big companies, and this is very let's say a typical event on our decade, the current decade of marketing that we're living is, they are living on legacy knowledge.
Okay.
Right? Which means they have this marketing team that's been there for 7, 10, 15 years.
They're doing the things that used to work really well.
Yeah.
Are we talking about things like TV advertising, things like that, billboards?
I wouldn't say that far back, but I would say a lot of them are still focusing on SEO.
Okay.
And while SEO delivers results, even Neil Patel, which is like the king of SEO right now, he's saying SEO doesn't work in 2019. Yeah. But people are still doing it. Yeah. People are still paying overpriced Google AdWords campaigns because they don't want to try Quora.
It's what they've always done, right?
It's what they've always done.
Yeah. It's a classic scenario of we've always done this, so we're still doing it.
Exactly. This has generated results in the past, so it's going to do that in the future.
So you created a business that was based around kind of emerging marketing techniques and emerging platforms such as Instagram, such as Facebook, such as Quora. I'm interested in Quora because I don't do anything on Quora.
Quora is nice.
Quora
is very nice.
I mean, I looked at your LinkedIn for some background on yourself. And I read that you guys were doing stuff on Quora. I was like, I've got to ask about Quora because I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm really interested in that. So listen, you guys looked at these. How did you get in touch with these companies, and what was the pitch? What did you say to them?
So a lot of the client acquisition that we did early on, and still nowadays, is through LinkedIn. Okay. A lot can be done with just a message or organic LinkedIn.
So were you connecting with people?
Yeah, you connect with people, and
what was when you say connect though, right? Because it's like there's a fine line between connecting and spamming, right? So what did you guys do? What was the actual mechanics of how you got in touch with people?
For LinkedIn, it's very easy. It's just you want to get to know the person behind the screen. It's not you want to sell them. It's not you have this amazing product that's going to change their lives. I want to get to know you.
How'd you do that without being creepy?
Maybe the initial idea is that you're going to be creepy. Yeah. But you never are because, well, I have let's say the benefit of being young. Yeah. Right? Because me as being young as I am, I can go and say, hey, I do this thing where I learn from more experienced people. I would like to have a chat with you. Nice. On what you do, and maybe like our experiences can complement each other. Okay. Like maybe I can help you with what I know in Facebook ads. Okay. Because I was born in '93, right? I'm a millennial, so I know this. Yeah. I've lived this age. Yeah.
This is your era.
Yeah. Exactly. So I can help them with that knowledge.
Okay, that's interesting. So, how would you find a prospect in this case?
The usual lead generation we use is we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Then we will filter everything. So we'll probably look for, let's say, CEOs in London in e-commerce industry. Nice. Right?
That makes sense.
And then we'll go ahead. We'll see them all. We'll create a list.
This is all manual, right? That you're doing this manually.
No, we use bots. For LinkedIn, we use bots to scrape all the data, and then we have a Google Sheets file. We'll go see all the companies. We'll go check them out, and we'll see what they're doing. Right? Do they have the Facebook pixel installed? Are they running Facebook ads right? Okay. Are there any conversion rate optimization techniques we can implement that will give results right there? Nice. Nice. And then we'll say, okay, this one we can't. This one is good. This one is good. We should talk to this guy.
So they've got gaps in their marketing, basically, and you approach them first in a kind of friendly way, in a kind of hey, maybe I can help. Yeah. They show interest. Yeah. And then you go, hey, I've noticed that you haven't got this, or I've noticed that you're not doing this yet. Would you like to talk about that?
Pretty much.
I like it.
Something that works really, really well is just audits, right? I've been, for bigger companies.
You offer to do an audit for them for free?
For free. Nice. For free, because
love it.
You're new in the market. People don't know you, and they want to see. All right, let's see if you know your stuff. Exactly. Yeah. So you're just gonna go and say, listen, I'll even look at your ads and tell you 5 things you should do right now that will improve results.
I love it. So when we're talking about medium-sized companies that you were approaching, what kind of gross were they doing? Do you think, roughly?
Medium-sized companies, we're probably looking at 250,000 a year all the way up to 2 million a year.
Okay, so around about that ballpark.
Yeah.
Low six figures up
Low
to...
six figures, yeah,
up to 2 million.
Small teams.
Okay, cool. And what was your success rate?
With this?
Yeah, like pitching people that way.
I would say 2 of every 10 leads we close.
That's nice.
We close, and if we don't close, it usually leads to a referral or the way people say it, right? Your net worth is your network.
Yeah.
This increases your network.
I agree.
Crazy fast, right?
That's very cool. I like it a lot because, listen, if and this is why I think this content is really important because Manuel's 25, right? And he's achieved, I mean, when I compare it to my life, what I was doing at 25, I was just messing around, yeah? But back then, there really wasn't the internet. You know, I'm that old. You know, I mean, there was, but it was kind of like, I think when I was 25, I just got my first email, like account, and it was Yahoo. That gives you a bit of an indication.
Yeah.
That was when Yahoo was cutting edge. So, yeah, I mean, but what I'm interested in is that Manuel and his company and this mindset are going and finding opportunities. It's not like waiting for things to happen. They had an idea, they had a business idea. I've had a ton of these myself, most entrepreneurs have, that seems good on paper. You run with it, it doesn't work. And then if you're brave, if you're bold, if you're smart, you change the plan. Okay, there's nothing wrong. People have this thing against pivoting, right?
Yeah.
I think at some point you just have to say, hang on, we've messed up here.
Yeah.
Right. And then you try something new, and what you're doing is you're going to people, right? You're not like saying, hey. And I get this all the time. I get asked a lot of time. I'm quite got a public on Instagram, right? Based around my content, people say, "What should I be doing?" And then I'll go and look at their Instagram, and I'm like, "Well, dude, maybe your Instagram account should show the things that you're trying to sell." You know, kind of basic things. And then you've got the guy who's got the Instagram with the things that they're trying to sell, the product, the service, or whatever. Right. Well, it looks okay, but they're waiting for people to come to them, right? It's kind of like, well, I've got my Instagram, I've got my website, it looks nice, it says what it's supposed to say. What next? It's like, well, do what Manuel's doing.
Yeah. Go
to people, approach people. And I think what you've said is a pretty nice blueprint of how it can be done. I mean, sometimes you have to get past your own head. I asked about whether or not that was creepy, yeah? Because I think we all have this, or most of us have this thing about, well, am I just cold calling people? But you researched, yeah? It wasn't like you were just like spamming 10,000 people with the same like direct message.
Yep.
Is like you did the research, you found the people, you found people or companies who you think, well, hang on, they're offering what the thing they are doing can benefit from my services, right? And so you've already filtered down the people who you're approaching, yeah? Then you get to them and you say, hey, you kind of like friendly approach.
Yeah, pretty much.
No hard sell, no, do you want my thing?
You need to bring value all the time.
This is it. And I talk a lot about this in my content about establishing a relationship first.
Yep.
It's like not just cold calling, not just the first email saying, hey, I've got this thing, you really need it. But hey, I saw you do this, that's really interesting. I do X, Y, Z. Maybe we could talk about this because I think possibly like we can help each other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That is establishing a relationship, yeah? And I love that. I love that. And that is, if you're watching this and you're in a similar position where you've got your product, you've got your service, and you're just waiting for things to happen, this is a template of how you can start building your business and your network. Your net worth and your network through not just blindly DMing people or direct messaging people or emailing or whatever online, but doing a bit of research, finding people who you think are going to be your target market, establishing relationship and taking things from there, but ultimately adding value.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You proved you could add value. That was for free, right? That's so cool. And then how long would it often take to go from proving you can add value to them saying, hey, we need to pay you for this?
It can go as fast as like As soon as they get the audit, okay, cool, let's go.
Let's roll.
And like in a week, you have the contract signed and you're rolling.
Nice.
Or a lot of these companies have contracts with other agencies. And
yeah, so they got to wind that down.
Yeah, we like your stuff, but we have this contract in 3 months.
Okay.
So it will take like that sort of time. But just to grab onto like the building relationships part as
Yeah,
well.
please.
Because there's something I'd like to add is the beauty of it, the beauty of everything here is it's basic human psychology.
Yeah.
Because we all like to talk about ourselves. So if I say, hey, Mike, what did you do today?
Yeah.
You're going to be happy I asked, and you're going to tell me everything because you're happy to share.
Yeah.
But if I came to you and said, hey, Mike, here's my day.
Here's my day.
You're like, sorry, this dude,
yeah,
right? I don't want to
why
listen
are you telling
to
me
this.
this?
Yeah. So we all like to talk about what we do because we want to feel important. We want to feel that we matter.
Yeah.
And this is what we do.
Yeah, and it's a way of connecting as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like I ask you a question about you to show that I'm interested in you. And by me showing that interest, there's a higher likelihood of some kind of a bond, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's how humans connect.
Yeah.
If you understand this basic principle, you can adapt it to
I totally agree.
Any single marketing action you do, because I'm saying this all the time, and I don't know if I heard it and I'm quoting someone else or if
just quote them.
But it is people don't connect to brands, people connect to people.
Yeah.
When you think about Coca-Cola, you don't think about the logo with the red and the white. You think about everyone from every nationality drinking the same bottle. Right?
Yeah.
When you think about VaynerMedia, you think about Gary Vaynerchuk. You think about
it's true.
Damon John, Fubu, right? You connect these all these dots.
Behind it.
There's always a person behind it.
Yeah, I get it. That's right.
And that's why building a personal brand such as yours, right, is so important nowadays.
Yeah, it's important and it's possible. It's practical now.
Definitely.
It's kind of like we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn, we've got podcasts, we've got YouTube. You can reach people through a few tags. You can reach people through connections. You can build up your network, a virtual network in a way that was never possible.
Exactly.
You know, when I was your age, which isn't that long ago, 18 years ago. So yeah, it's a great point. It's a really great point. Let's go back. So we've got you in this company now with Tim. Are we okay to talk about numbers?
Sure.
Yeah. So what are we talking about? What kind of business are we talking about now with Tim? For you guys, are you guys generating 6 figures, 7 figures?
Around 6 figures.
Around 6 figures.
Yeah. It's still a small company.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how many clients have you got right now?
Right now, I think we have around 13 clients.
Globally?
Yeah, globally.
Nice.
We have a small percentage in Portugal, which is where we operate.
Through contacts?
Yeah, through contacts. So I would say maybe 70% of our clients come through referrals, and then the rest
that makes sense.
LinkedIn.
That makes sense. So it's kind of like a little bit like the domino effect, you know,
is.
where you get one and there's like all these different rows. It's like you get one person and they can knock down all these different rows of dominoes that lead to more and more and more and more people.
At the end of the day, it's just karma. Right? You want to generate as much goodwill karma for you and your business as possible. I'm not talking about spiritual and
no, I get it.
Even though I believe that, right? If you do good, like good will come to you.
But it translates to business as well.
If you do right for people, people will do right for you. And this is true everywhere else, right? Why wouldn't it be true in business?
Yeah,
simple as that.
100% agree. We're on the same page. So you're at 6 figures now. What's the goal for 2019? Have you guys set a number? Have you guys set some kind of a target, or are you just going with the flow?
Right now, we're filming this in January, right?
January 2019.
We're pretty much just settling down and
finding your rhythm.
Finding a new rhythm.
Yeah.
Because if you go to our website right now, we offer all these services.
I saw it's a huge list.
Yeah, and that's all fine and dandy, and it's cool, but it's not the way to scale. Because if you offer too many services, you're not specialized in anything. We're just another agency.
Okay, jack of all trades
kind of
thing.
Jack of all trades. So we want to escape from that, and in January, we're really focusing on what are the things that we did in the past that really
made the biggest impact.
What's the 80-20% rule, right? What's the 20% we did that generated 80% of the results?
Nice.
So now we're pretty much formulating a new productized service offering. And we're going to go forward with that throughout the year. Of course, the goal of this is always, increasing the company, right? Building the company, more money, etc. More money, more employees, etc.
But I'm guessing the goal isn't always to make the fastest money. It's to build a platform for the future, right?
Yeah.
For future success.
Yeah, it's a foundation. It's not a. If I wanted to make quick money, there's other ways. I'm good at Facebook ads. I'd probably go affiliate marketing with Facebook ads. Yeah. Or even drop ship, which is something I did in the past when I was 16 years old.
I want to get into that.
We'll get into that. Yeah. But there are other ways of making quick, easy money.
But you're trying to build a machine, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to build a machine. I'm trying to build an asset, right? Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he says you need to build assets for your life. And that's what I'm trying to build with the company.
With Tim's help, I imagine.
Yeah, it's a very big help.
How hands-on is Tim in the business? Does he view from afar and give the occasional bit of advice, or is he like sleeves rolled up inside the business?
He's more like a mentor, and a mentor and probably like our number one PR agent. Okay. He tells everyone about us, and that alone generates
interest. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. People will come up to me and say, "I've heard about you from this guy, but I never met you." Okay. But
he's done the groundwork for you, basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Tim Vieira saying, "Hey, there's this crazy good kid."
It's a gift and a curse. Yeah. It's a gift and a curse, because you really have to step up.
Oh, because he raises expectations.
Yeah, very much so. But just because he is the guy he is, right?
That's a nice problem.
If a guy as big as Tim is going to say, "Listen, I know this guy who's good at digital marketing. You better be good at digital marketing because." That's his reputation on the line, and
I get it.
Tim is one of my shareholders. That's something that's always on my mind,
Yeah, that's cool. I totally understand. Listen, so you've got a new direction. Are you able to talk about the new direction, like what the new focus is going to be, or is that still being decided?
Yeah.
So what's the new focus going to be? Is it going to be one service?
One productized service. So right now, what we're doing with a lot of our clients is we pretty much will grab your current CMS, right? You're working WordPress, Shopify, Magento, and this is mostly e-commerce. Yeah. And we'll do CRO, conversion rate optimization, and we'll do Facebook ads, and we'll build your funnels for you. Nice. And in exchange of revenue share. So essentially,
it's a big e-commerce focus now.
Yeah, it's a big e-commerce focus. Messenger bots are also in the funnel of things. But for services. Okay. So essentially we'll have what I like to call managed e-commerce services, and then for e-commerce shops, and then for services like hair salons and restaurants and plumbers, etc. Nice. We're probably gonna productize a chatbot solution, which is currently in the works.
Okay.
And that's like the two ways. Yeah, we're building it right now.
Nice.
We're building it right now.
Nice. So yeah, we're just talking about university. I have this thing about university where I don't like the idea that a lot of people are putting themselves into debt, and in doing so at a very young age, they're already losing, right? It's like your starting point is a losing position. Obviously, you need to go to university if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, these kind of very vocational jobs.
Not for digital marketing.
But not for digital marketing, right? Yeah. This idea of going to university to study marketing and getting yourself as is the case in the UK and in the US, in tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, just doesn't make sense to me at all. It's a losing position, right?
Yeah. Listen, I have a master's in digital marketing.
Oh yeah?
And I'm the first one to tell you it's not worth it.
So, okay, you got the master's. All of the things that you learnt in that master's in how many years?
It took me 5 years.
Compare that to 1 year in the field.
Yeah, you'll be better off.
1 year in the field, right?
Yeah. One of my collaborators, right? He actually called me when I was starting the company. He said, "Yo, Manuel, I'm thinking of enrolling in digital marketing masters, the one you took. Yeah. What do you think?" I'm like, "Forget about it. Yeah. Come work with me. Yeah. I'll pay you, and I will teach you everything you need to know."
Can I just get the camera for a second? This is really, really important. I really want people to pay attention to this more than anything else. If you're a young entrepreneur, you really need to listen to this. Manuel's got the master's in marketing, spent 5 years. If you're in the US or the UK or many other countries, we're talking about it's probably going to cost you a serious amount of money to get that knowledge, to get that insight for 5 years. 1 year in the field or less than 1 year in the field has been more useful, more powerful for Manuel than anything theoretical at university could have been for his particular area of expertise, which is marketing. 1 year in the field beats 5 years at university. Okay, it's really important. Go on, man. So you brought your friend in, and you paid him.
Yeah, I paid him a salary.
So he had a profit at the end of this, right? Like a financial, like real time profit. Not like I can get a degree and hopefully get a job.
Nope.
But I've got a job. I'm paying the rent, or I'm paying, at least buying some. I can buy things.
And I'm learning.
And I'm learning real stuff that people really need in the field. Mm-hmm. How much of what you did at uni was just pure theory that you never got to use in practice?
90% maybe. 90%.
See,
I would say.
This, I'm on the same page.
90%.
On the same page. This is my opinion of university. University is like this. In my experience, I mean, we've all got limited experiences, right? But I was a teacher. I know loads of teachers. My family are all teachers. I know lots of people who work at universities. It's like there's so much outdated theory being taught.
Yeah.
And for what? So you can pass a test? Like I've got my kids now. Yeah, I've got the 8-year-old and the 4-year-old, and the boys revising for these tests, and I'm like, dude, I don't want you to pass the test. I want you to learn how to learn. I don't care about the grade. I don't care about what your teacher says about your grades. I care about how you're learning, and you learn best in the field, right?
Yeah, but that's the entire problem. Like exactly what you mentioned there is the entire problem with everything, really, because from very young, you're trained to learn this so you can pass this test, etc.
Yeah.
It's all built out for you. The ladder is in front of you.
Yeah.
And when you get to 18 years old, like, all right, it's time to pick a degree.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard because you've been programmed to do this, to actually say no.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is you don't know what the you're going to do with your life.
You're lost, right?
You're lost.
Where do I start?
Yeah. In fact, I have a friend of mine who, after his master's, was like, oh, so you're going to work here, you're going to work there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm probably going to take my PhD just to keep on studying.
To avoid real life.
Exactly.
I get it. I totally
it's
get it.
very hard because you don't know it.
Yeah.
But you're more likely to go to university, even if you don't think it's the right call. And
just because it's a safe move, right?
It's a safe move.
In inverted commas, safe move.
It's actually the riskier move if you look at it, right?
I agree. When you understand the big picture, it's the biggest risk you can take.
Yeah, but that's the problem with young people is we lack the perspective of the bigger picture. At 25 years old, you're like...
But that's not young.
At 18, you feel like you're immortal. So you're like, you can take 5 years.
Yeah, but I agree with that in principle. But you can also take 5 years of failing in business. And that would be much more valuable in 5 years than in a degree, in my opinion, compared to most degrees, non-vocational degrees. Fail for 5 years, have a crappy job, struggle, get by, learn, make mistakes, learn, make mistakes, learn, make mistakes. Do that for 5 years, it will beat any theoretical degree.
100%. The one thing there is school protects you from failure.
Yeah.
And failing in the real world, that takes a lot of grit.
But it's like protection, but it doesn't really protect you because at some point you have to leave the goddamn place and you have to go into the real world. And if you've never learned coping mechanisms of how to deal with failure and how to get through, then you're not protected from anything because life is coming.
Yeah. But that's the whole problem with it. That's the whole problem with it. And us, like my generation has it even worse because we have this thing called Instagram, right? And we're looking at it and we're seeing these 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds,
with the
20-year-olds,
money and
Lambos,
the jewelry,
money, and they're killing it, right?
Well, seemingly.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
Because it's their highlight reel.
Fake it till you make it, right?
But that's... Our brain doesn't distinguish what is good for us and what is bad for us.
Like these cars behind us, they're bought, right? But Tim isn't 16. Tim isn't 26, you know what I mean? Tim's like...
Nor did he have this at those ages.
There we go. There we go. This is real.
This is real.
This is real. And the funny thing is Tim's not doing the Instagram thing of, hey, here's my cars, because he's too busy building businesses, right?
Yep.
doing real things.
But imagine now that you're a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
And you spend 2 hours on Instagram.
Yeah.
Looking at girls, looking at cars, looking
Yeah.
at the life you'd like to have.
Yeah.
And then you're failing on your business for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
That is very, very hard to go through.
But it's real.
It's real.
It's real. And it's better than uni.
Definitely.
In that respect.
But it all comes down to self-awareness. Meaning, Gary Vaynerchuk says this a lot. He says, you don't need to be number one. You'll be happy you need to figure out if you're number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Within an organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to be happy with who you are. And I know people who are excellent operators.
Yeah.
But they're not leaders.
I get it. And it's good to have that self-awareness. But you'll only find out by doing stuff, right?
100%. I agree. Yeah.
Execute.
Yeah. You need to
take
test
action.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. Hopefully this is really useful for you guys, because this is like the thing that almost everybody is getting wrong, is they're trying to be something that they're not. They're trying to become something that they're not. They're disappointed with themselves or confused why they're not getting overnight success. None of this that you can see behind me, none of the things that Manuel has achieved at the young age of 25 happened overnight. You got into drop shipping when you were 16. Okay, so that's 9 years. 9 years is a relatively long amount of time to be in any area. 9 years. And you're still working out what your business is, right? I'm
still figuring out what my life is.
Exactly.
More than my business.
Exactly,
you know?
Right? And this is the thing. It's a journey. It's like some people think it's like this. I don't know if you're familiar with this expression. I think I've got this right, of the difference between the finite game and the infinite game. It's like the finite game is like a game of soccer where it's like 90 minutes and you can say, well, this guy won, this guy lost. But that's not life. This shit's eternal. Right? And we're always working things out. It's like you don't have to win today. You can win in 9 years' time. Yeah, you can win in 19 years' time. But you've got to start the process now, and you've got to have that self-awareness about where you fit in. It's like, am I an entrepreneur, or am I doing the Instagram thing of putting like it on my profile, like, I am an entrepreneur, I am a CEO, I've got this company? Or would you be better in a partnership with somebody or working for somebody? Right? I think it was Grant Cardone who I recently read said 90% of all American millionaires work for somebody.
Yeah, that's very true.
So most millionaires, because people have this concept of, if I'm a millionaire, I have to have my own company. No. You just need to work with good people. Yeah. Sometimes that's more powerful.
Just because you're a millionaire, it doesn't mean you're not working the 9 to 5. There are a lot of millionaires who work a 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Just go check Amazon's employees.
Like, there we go. Easy. It's cool, man. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we've missed out now that we really should have been talking about. But I think we've got great content, man. Really great content. This has been really good. Is there anything else you'd like to chat about? Because I think we've covered some really cool things, man. We've talked about how young people can. One thing we could talk about is just following your passions, right? It's like you loved the computer games, right? Yeah. And that's what started everything off for you, yeah?
Yeah, that's where my English comes from. That's where a lot of the things. So one of the best exercises I recommend anyone in marketing to do is take a look at the brands you consume. Take a look at the drink you drink. Take a look at the ads you like. Yeah. And think to yourself, reverse engineer it. Like, why do I like this? Yeah. What is this transmitting, and why do I feel attracted to this?
Yeah. And why would they be doing that?
Because once you know that, then you can replicate it. Right? If let's say you're a skater, right, and you really like Vans, or really like Converse. Yeah. You've asked, why do I like Vans? Why do I like Converse? Oh, because they portray this lifestyle. Yeah. So it's the feeling behind it. What is the feeling behind this lifestyle? Okay. How is this feeling portrayed? All right, people skating in at dawn, or abandoned skate parks, whatever. Yeah. And like you begin deconstructing the idea of the sales pitch they're giving to you. Yeah. This for any marketer is. Okay. It's like hacking a funnel, right? You go through the funnel and you see all the steps.
How can you replicate that?
That's the perfect exercise. If you analyze yourself, why am I attracted to this?
Yeah. Why Apple and not Windows? Well. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. Listen, I'd just like to say thank you very much to Manuel. We've known each other for a little bit of time, but this is the first time we had one really good chat a few months ago. That was the first time we met, and as a result of that, it's been on the back of my mind that we should talk again. I'm just glad we were able to do this on camera. Thank you to the guys for helping out as well. I'll be posting this everywhere, right? Let's see how much good content we can get out of it. I'll probably tag you in a few things.
Please do.
Raise awareness for yourself, your brand. You worked with Tim, and yeah, hopefully inspire people to see the path to success. Success is such a personal thing, right?
It is.
It's like how would you even begin to define it? I would define it by it makes you happy. The thing you're doing makes you happy. Your day-to-day life makes you happy. When you get out of bed, it's like, yes, I've got this day ahead of me. Yeah, not just a reason, but because paying the bills is a reason.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right, but inspiration. Right, it's like when I go to bed, I'm not kidding. I'm like really looking forward to going to bed because I know if I sleep well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to kill it the next day. So like I'm honestly going to bed thinking I'm going to kill this sleep, right? This sleep's going to be amazing. But a few years back, it wasn't like that. Yeah. So I didn't have my thing that I was doing that was really mine, you know? And for me, the success thing isn't about the cars. It isn't about the jewelry, not that my jewelry is anything special. It isn't about the money. It's not like having, I think most of us aspire to have it like something like a 7-figure business because there are lifestyle benefits of having that rough amount coming in, yeah? But it's not about the money, it's about the journey. Manuel had a passion, it was the games. He had a basic practical need, which was money, combined the two and used his environment, used his intuition, used his passions to make money. Doesn't have to be a thing that you study. You can study, I mean, you think about Google these days, right? All the different ways you can just get information. And you get information, theoretical information, and you apply it in reality, and it beats in most cases going to university, sitting down for 4 years, wasting maybe 4 years on things that you can just go out in the field and do right now and make money from. And even if you screw up for 4 years, it's more valuable than most theoretical degrees. So thanks, Manuel.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it. Been a really good chat, and we'll talk again soon.
Cheers.
Man. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks, guys.